Copyright disclaimer. Under Title 17 U.S.C. Section 107, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing nonprofit, educational, or personal use, tips a balance in favor of fair use. Okay, this is dated May 2nd, 2025. From Cibola Citizen, ChatGPT, because you know. Supreme Court restores child abuse conviction. Conviction troll of Fence Lake cult leader by Diego Lopez. Dated April 23rd, 2025. Fence Lake, New Mexico. The New Mexico Supreme Court has reinstated the child abuse conviction of Deborah Green, a co-founder of the Aggressive Christianity Missionary Training Corps. Kind of like a cadet org. Sound familiar, you guys? But what do I know? Cult in Fence Lake, New Mexico, reversing a lower court's decision that had ordered her release and dismissed her charges. Ask yourself, you guys, why would that happen? Why would that happen? Must be a conspiracy. In an unanimous opinion issued April 21st, the state's highest court, in the Greens' habeas corpus claim, failed to meet the legal standard of proving actual innocence. Imagine that, you guys. In 2014 death of 12-year-old Enoch Miller, who died after suffering a prolonged illness without medical treatment. Without medical treatment, troll. While living at the group's remote compound in Fence Lake, Cibola County. The justices concluded that Green's failure to seek timely medical care, like in the case of Lisa McPherson, resulted in the great bodily injuries that EM undisputably endured. Imagine that this was thrown out, you guys. Gotta wonder how much cash was exchanged, right? Undisputably endured, referring to the boy by his initials. Far from exonerative in nature, the district court's unchallenged causation, finding directly implicated defendant in the commission of the crime, Justice C. Shannon Bacon wrote in the court's opinion. Green had pleaded no contest in 2018 to reckless child abuse. Reckless child abuse, troll. Resulting in a great bodily harm, as well as 2 counts of evidence tampering. Evidence tampering, LAPD. She was sentenced to 18 years in prison. Isn't that a 666 right there? However, she later filed a habeas petition claiming she was not legally responsible for the boy's condition. Where have we heard this before, you guys? Doesn't Scientology always say that person acted as an individual? But then again, we haven't had any cases regarding the children in Scientology, have we? Not legally responsible for the boy's condition, which was believed to have stemmed from untreated influenza. A district judge granted the petition in 2022, ruling that the evidence did not support a first-degree felony conviction. That ruling has now been overturned. Troll. In its decision, the Supreme Court clarified that claims of actual innocence can be raised in post-conviction proceedings, even by individuals convicted through plea agreements, not just by jury verdicts, Still, the court emphasized that such claims must be backed by new affirmative evidence, which is found lacking in Green's case. According to court documents, Green was once regarded by followers as an oracle of God within the cult-like ministry, exerting complete control over compound residents, including finances, daily life, and access to medical care.
Like Scientology, troll.
Founded in the early 1980s, the Aggressive Christianity Missionary Training Corps,
Like the Cadet Org.
operated for decades under various names, often evading public scrutiny despite reports of abuse. Like black PR campaigns. That changed in 2017 when Bill Miller, Enoch's father, and a former member of the group, approached law enforcement with concerns about his missing son. Imagine a father protecting or wondering about his son. Isn't that amazing? Acting on that tip, Cibola County Sheriff's deputies and state investigators raided the group's rural compound.
LAPD.
Ultimately discovering Enoch's grave and uncovering widespread abuse.
Widespread abuse, LAPD.
Including child labor, like Scientology, denial of medical treatment, like Scientology, and sexual assault, like Scientology. 9 members of the group, including Green and her husband, James Green, were arrested following the raid. Court records show Deborah Green was convicted in 2018 of kidnapping, child rape, and abuse, receiving a 72-year sentence, in addition to the plea agreement. That conviction was later set aside. Listen to this, you guys. Got to pay real close attention. Do you guys know who's ruling at the very top of the pyramid? And the charges were dismissed in 2022 after key witnesses became unavailable. Witness tampering, anyone? Witness intimidation, anyone? You know, like
fair gaming, troll.
As of 2025, Green's conviction for Enoch's death is now legally restored.
Legally restored, troll.
James Green also pleaded no contest to child abuse in a separate case and received a 10-year sentence. I'm going to like him in General Pop. In 2018, according to the New Mexico Corrections Department, he has since been released to probation. I don't want to say anything to that. Former members, including Deborah and James Green's daughter, Sarah, have since come forward to describe years of abuse and isolation. Isolation, just like Scientology. Former Cibola County Sheriff Tony Mace, who led the investigation, said the 2017 arrests were necessary to stop a cycle of abuse.
Sheriff Tony Mace, LAPD.
An exploitation that had gone unchecked for far too long. These arrests had to happen because kids were being abused and getting smuggled in from other countries.
Like Scientology.
Mace said at the time we had to bring this organization to light in order to protect children. According to court documents, Enoch's mother, Stacy Miller, was also arrested.
Arrested, troll.
And accused of failing to seek medical treatment for her son, instead relying on prayer at the encouragement of group leaders. Despite setbacks in prosecution over the years, the New Mexico State Supreme Court's decision ensures that one of the most serious charges tied to Enoch's death will remain on the books. It also marks a significant moment in New Mexico jurisprudence, affirming that constitutional protections apply to all convicted defendants, but so too does the burden of proving true innocence. I will leave a link in the description box. Like and subscribe if you choose. Otherwise, have an amazing day or night wherever you are. Peace.